Welcome to 1000 PS, welcome to beautiful Seville, welcome to the launch of KTM's 990 RCR, which is a bike that we've been dying to ride here at 1000 PS. And clearly KTM are confident in their product because they've given us a day on track and a day on road to put the new bike through its paces. So let's start with the track, which is kind of, you would argue, where it's been designed and built for. Just look at those MotoGP inspired looks. It looks like almost toy-like they've got the MotoGP bike and just shrunk the dimensions a bit. It looks like it would lap a track at lap record pace at a standstill. But it's got all the components to do well. So we've got the new Brembo high pure brakes, we've got WP Apex suspension, fully adjustable, front and rear. The frame and swinging arm is completely different, the wheelbase, the offset, it's all completely different to the KTM Duke 990. This is not a Duke 990 in a pretty frock. In terms of horsepower, we're looking at 130 PS, 9,500 RPM, and 103 Newton meters of torque at 6,700 RPM. That puts it in the leader in this class against the Ducati Panigale V2 and the Yamaha R9 in terms of torque and power. We've had the opportunity to spend all day in blistering conditions here in Seville, a track that I know really well, a track that I've ridden here on both the Panigale and the R9 before, albeit in different conditions on different tyres. The most standout feature for me with the KTM on track is the torque, the power and the usability. It doesn't feel like you're going fast, but you are going fast. There's certain corners here where I'd normally be in second gear and you can use third. Or there's a few sections where instead of going third to fourth to third, you can just roll it round in fourth and still put a decent lap together. It makes the bike easy, it makes the bike enjoyable. It means that I'm not absolutely out of breath after 25 minutes in this blistering heat. It's an extremely easy bike to ride at a reasonably fast rate. But then when you want to up the ante, you can do. You can customize your mode, you can turn off the anti-wheelie, trim the traction control, change the throttle response, and there's 4 different ABS settings, including a new Supermoto Plus mode. That's the kind of joy of this bike, is that you can tweak it and tailor it to how you want to ride and where you want to go and how fast you want to lap. By mid-afternoon, I'd kind of got my own little setting, changed the suspension, which is fully adjustable, front and rear, and I was thoroughly enjoying it. The only kind of limitation on track is the Michelin track day rubber. It's not designed to work with slicks, it's designed to be a track day tyre, not a race tyre. And there was just that last 5%, maybe 10% on the front tyre, just felt a little bit vague and not as pinpoint as I wanted it to be, not as accurate as I wanted it to be. But then when you get back to the garage and you look at your lap time, it's actually impressive. The rear feel is excellent. Towards the end of the day, the tyre started to go off and you can start to feel the bike move a little bit. But on the fly, you can add a little bit of traction just to have that little bit of a safety net. So it's worked really well on track. It's been able to cut some fast laps. It's accessible and easy to ride. So will that transfer to the road? Well, thankfully, it did. And in a few, arguably, you could describe it as a better road bike than a race bike. It's so roomy, way roomier than I thought it would be. The dash is phenomenal. That's like 8.8 full color dash with touchscreen availability should you want it. But the switchgear is really intuitive and pretty simple and easy to navigate. I've never been a fan of some KTM switchgear in the past, but I'm definitely a fan of this. In the afternoon, we had to use the built-in navigation. We didn't have to connect my phone, I didn't have to download an app, I didn't have to drain the battery from my phone. I just used it in the built-in sat-nav, followed all the way from lunch back to here at the track. Very simple, very easy. The torque that we experienced on the track works on the road. It sounds great, there's a lovely burble. and it makes it easily accessible and easy to ride. The suspension that we stiffened up for the track in the standard settings as you would buy it from the showroom, they're not rigid, they're not solid, the seat is not a skateboard, it's got reasonably plush suspension, it's reasonably comfortable. The bodywork is actually pretty good for a sports bike. Okay, it's not a tourer and pillions are going to have to be extremely brave, but in this category of middleweight sports bikes, and we're looking at Panigales or even CBR 600s, then this is extremely comfortable. This is an extremely usable everyday sports bike that can still cut it on track. When I first saw the bike as a prototype, I thought it looked really radical and quite extreme. When I first saw the bike in the flesh, I thought that's going to absolutely feel like a mini MotoGP bike that's going to be absolutely terrible on the road. But I'm completely wrong. It's an excellent road bike that is easily accessible, even for relatively novice riders. There's lots of rider aids and it's all lean sensitive, including the ABS, should you wish it to be. There's even optional cruise control. We can even change the position of the pegs to street or race. It's relatively roomy. As I said, I was more than happy to cut some big miles on the KTM 990 RCR on the road and quite happily take it to a track day and have loads of fun without feeling too intimidated, without being too scary, because the power just feels like a lovely balance. But the big question mark for me over the KTM is going to be, how does it fare against the competition? And that's the test we're going to hope to put together here at 1000 PS. So we're going to need the Yamaha R9, we're going to need the Panigale V2, and if we want to really stretch the budget, we might add a GSX-R 750 and an MV 800. Once we get those bikes together, it's going to be who wins on track and who wins on the road. I think on track, it's going to be really close. I don't think the KTM feels fast, but the lap times show it is fast. And on the road, the dash, the switchgear, the comfort, the usability, it's going to be really up there as a road bike. But that's the group test we're going to put together really shortly. But if you want to know any more technical details about the new RCR, please fire some questions below. Me or one of the team will get back to you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.